All right, all aboard the Esoteric Express. We're going to take a ride through your mind on the spooky sides of the track. I'm Nick. This is Ant. And Ant, I'm going to say something tonight because we're doing something a little different.
All right.
We're going to have an open-ended discussion, personal beliefs, our own conspiracy theories about anything and everything involving Egypt.
Sounds like a plan. Sounds like some interesting times tonight.
This is what we're doing. This is how I'm feeling.
So first of all, before we get started,
Okay.
Why Egypt? What made you choose Egypt for tonight?
Okay. No particular reason. I just always had a fascination with Egypt ever since I was little.
Mhm.
I just always wanted to go see the pyramids, which I've never did, but I still do. So pyramids have always been something that I've always wanted to know more about, see it in person. Shit, I'd even climb the bitch. I knew you niggas get arrested for that shit. Like I saw a news report. People climbed to the top of that shit,
Yeah.
and the Egyptian police waited at the bottom for them to climb down and threw them in jail.
Mhm.
But fuck it, I go to jail for that. I want to go climb that too.
Yeah. But no, it's see, when I first got into all of this stuff like Egypt mythology and conspiracy theories, the pyramids and the Sphinx and the whole story behind that was one of the first things I really got into. So, I'll let you start tonight off and we'll see where
All
the
right,
night
so
goes.
all right, let's see. It's one thing that I would want to start with is pyramids themselves.
Okay.
I've seen videos on it,
Mm-hmm.
dating methods saying that the tops are older than the bottoms.
Yeah, I've seen that.
They were saying like essentially they were built top to bottom, which doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
Yeah, and even with modern machinery, it would be almost impossible to move those stones around. And they're saying that they had slave labor for, 30, 40 years putting this stuff together. When, when's the last time I can get Comcast to come out and fix my internet on time?
That's what,
Yeah.
but still, I mean, Comcast is like could be 3-4 blocks away. You're talking about you have people hundreds of miles from the quarry
Yeah,
dragging stones
yeah,
up the Nile along the shoreline, whatever,
Yeah.
and then pulling it there, let alone, and then stacking that shit up.
Yeah.
Nah, come on, yo,
Well,
someone's lying.
yeah, exactly. I mean, look how long it's taken for the 290 to get fixed. It's been what? How many years now? So that's in Houston, guys. The 290 in Houston. So.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, how did they expect people to believe that slave labor got all this cool shit done where you can't get paid labor to match it?
Yeah, it's interesting to see how they try to manipulate things to make it look like this is the way the story should be, because anything that they can't explain, they really want to tie it up to be like, oh, this is how it happened. Slaves did this, but now they turn around and say, oh, well, slaves is taboo, so they were free. We paid them. They're the ones that actually created it, but. No, it's very interesting, and that they built it top down is near impossible. It's like, I don't want to go on the whole ancient aliens thing, but how was it created?
I'll battle your ancient aliens. Now I'll go with more of how they're built on the ley lines
Mm-hmm.
and the magnetism and like the theory of like if you generate enough like positive negative energy
Mhm.
around a certain area, it should make the objects within the field weightless.
So that would be advanced technology that they had lost then.
Advanced technology or just common knowledge back then.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that.
It sounds like advanced technology to us,
Yeah.
but just going off of how many people replicated what they were able to do back then,
Yeah.
that seemed like that was everybody common knowledge to people across the world.
Yeah.
So can't judge one or the other. It's just opposite ends of this like spectrum, no matter which way you're looking at it.
Yeah.
So like their normal is our abnormal. Our normal, our cell phones to them back then would be like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like that's witchcraft.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say with that?
Yeah, I definitely think that starting way back when that there was ancient civilizations that were very advanced. I mean, not to talk about Egypt, but like ancient stories about Atlantis
Mhm.
and stuff like that, and how they were such an advanced, technologically sound civilization, and they essentially, went so far and ended up messing with the wrong things and causing themselves to get flooded out. All that technology that was there and all of the weird stuff that they find here and there is all this technology that has disappeared.
Yeah.
And
But there's no evidence of whatever it was. Like everything is gone.
yeah,
Now it's just like people's interpretations of what they find, what they can piece together, what they think is being translated into. How do we even know translations are accurate?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like these are dead languages.
Well, exactly, and just to get into the translation thing, if you look at any of the old languages, specifically one of my biggest pet peeves with the Bible
Mm-hmm.
is they have all these different translations of the Bible, and most of them are wrong or incorrect and modify the Bible,
Yeah.
and you're supposed to believe that anything that's different from the Bible is essentially blasphemy. So, making stuff easier for people to understand, you know, is manipulating the transcription of the text and translating it into a way that is comfortable to you.
And the fact that they cut half the shit out just because they didn't like how it didn't fit what they wanted
It
to
didn't
teach.
fit the narrative,
Yeah.
and it all comes back to that narrative that they want us to believe in specific things,
Yeah.
so they manipulate everything to go by it. And I'm not entirely sure what a continuum transformer is, but apparently one of our people on stream is saying that they could build a pyramid for us. So.
Yeah, okay.
But anyways,
Yeah, okay. We're gonna build that shit in your backyard.
we'll be over.
Yeah. Build a fucking pyramid grill.
Yeah. And then we go
and barbecue my beliefs.
And then we'll be over. So, going on as far as the capstones being built first.
Oh, the capstones. There were supposedly solid gold capstones on all three that are all gone now. That was another thing I read about.
I did read that they were something different. I didn't read the part where they sell the gold, but it wouldn't put me past that. That area had been looted so many times and so many people conquered through there that they essentially pillaged that place. So a lot of the old stuff that was there.
But a lot of that shit was under the sand for a long time too, and so.
Yeah, and that's.
Oh well, that would make sense then.
Yeah.
If they were so far under the sand, and the capstones were gold, that would have been the first shit to go. If someone saw that shit gleaming in the fucking desert.
Yeah. Well, exactly. So what I had read about the subject is that as you said, that they used to be under sand.
Yeah.
And actually, some people even date the pyramids to be before when the Egyptians were there. So the Egyptians essentially found it and dug it out, and then they started modifying it here and there, and started being being like a bum and going in there and graffiti tagging everything.
That's plagiarism. They just turned in the same report twice and added some changes.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we're gonna take credit for it. So
actually, all right. So now I got a whole bunch of different things in my head right now that I want to get into, but I'm gonna try to keep it as much as order as my thoughts can be.
Yeah.
But all right. So one was the whole area, like way before when it was supposedly like rainforesty and like lush forest and everything. There was, I don't know the name of it, but there was one temple that was built in the middle of like a lake. So at the time the temple was built, this is like way before the Egyptians, the temple was there and it was supposedly surrounded by water. But that's all dried up now and they found it and it's all like, people can't, why would they build it here? And it was far out in the desert. Like now how everything's dried up, it's way like far out compared to where the other locations are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they were trying to figure out, well, what was the purpose of it being here? How would it sustain life? How would people da-da-da?
Yeah.
But then that ties back to how if they were built way long ago, when everything was like lushy and foresty, like it would have been a whole different, just a whole landscape, way of life and everything that we probably don't have any clue on what was going on there.
Exactly. And one of the things that has been brought up again, apparently they discovered some ancient ruins near Machu Picchu, and National Geographic. Oh, so one of the people in the chat was saying that a friend of his discovered some ancient ruins near Machu Picchu, and National Geographic was there, and they took pictures of it, and they discovered a quartz pyramid that fits the dimensions of the pyramids perfectly, and or the top of the pyramids perfectly. So a quartz top to the pyramid. That's interesting.
Yeah,
If
I
you
didn't
could
know that
link where
one. Yeah.
that topic is, that'd be interesting. And just for those that are watching this on YouTube afterwards, we stream live. And we probably should plug that in the beginning sometime, but
I'll figure it out. I'll
we're
work it in
working
there.
on it. Episode 110 will finally be done, kind of almost perfect. But and that's actually, that he brings that up. Pyramids are like everywhere.
Yeah.
They have them in South America. They have them in
China,
Turkey,
supposedly Antarctica.
yeah,
Supposedly.
allegedly there's one in the bottom of Antarctica.
No, there's 3.
3.
Yeah, they found the
okay.
whole pit. Just from the Google Earth images and the supposed satellite, there's a complex of 3 that matches Giza 3.
Wow. Okay. That's very.
There was a supposed pyramid at the bottom of the Bermuda Triangle, though, like that glass one.
Yeah.
You ever heard about that one?
No.
Oh boy, I got a lot to talk about.
but you see how it is. It's like, what is so significant about the pyramid? And what I've read one time is someone had said that it's the way it's structured. It's like a power
plant, yeah,
a power plant.
So, but that's what Tesla was talking about too.
Yeah.
So, I'm not too knowledgeable on the exacts, but it had something to do with how the water ran underneath the pyramid, and the magnetism or the conducting of electricity was transmitted through the pyramid as a whole, and with the gold capstone was the biggest conductor of transferring the energy, but it was almost wireless energy.
Yeah. Huh.
And that's how people think that's how the Egyptians had light and all that, but there had to be something else powering it, and that tied back into that whole myth theory about how the Ark of the Covenant was the power source to the whole Egyptian culture and civilization.
Yeah. Well, and that's...
But that ties back to the alien thing, though.
Yeah, it all goes back to the aliens. I'm not saying it's aliens, but I'm saying it's aliens. But, no, I could honestly, and I know we're supposed to talk about Egypt and the whole area.
This is Egypt, though.
But I could talk about pyramids like all day.
But it's all interconnected. I'm talking about... All right, so take it a step further back.
Yeah.
And how the stories of Atlantis was like the first global civilization.
Yeah.
Now, for that to make sense, that would tie in how everyone had the same knowledge after Atlantis disappeared. How's these pyramids on this side of the world, this side of the world, that side of the world, this side of the world? They all had the same technology. So if there was one global civilization beforehand, it's all kind of pointing to that Atlantis kind of theory. Yeah. And they all just kind of spread out after whatever happened.
Well, you know what was very interesting is, you heard about Pangea, right?
Yeah.
So what if at the center of Pangea was Atlantis? And whatever caused that doomsday scenario, where I heard it was like an orb or a crystal that, went haywire, caused the split, and caused Pangea to split up.
Okay, so that's one thing. If you want to Google this one to pull up an image, I don't know if you know about this one, but this would be somewhat similar. Type in the Eye of the Sahara.
All right.
Yeah, just get like a good image of it.
Like up here?
Yeah, go to images though, because you want the full aerial view. Yeah.
Like this right here? Ah, okay.
So this is in Africa.
Let me move this over so I can. We will add this to the stream.
Oh, you can add it?
No, I can add it.
Oh, okay. All right, so I'll give you a little backstory while you're working on getting that up. So basically, it's in like the middle of the desert. Like it's far the fuck out there, but there's like a lot of similarities to Plato's description of the inner outer rings. So depending how Pangea was together, I wouldn't be able to tell where this location would be in Pangea. But if it was a split apart, that would look like a detonation zone almost. How it spirals outwards.
Yeah, and what you're seeing on the screen right now, can you guys see it?
I don't think there it is yet.
Yeah. But yeah, that does look pretty interesting.
Yeah. So but on flat ground, it doesn't look like anything. You wouldn't notice it till you're above it.
Yeah, and that could have been exactly where they were, or
Or
honestly,
something happened from
dude, it
there
looked
outward.
like a nuke went off there or something, right?
Yeah. There's I can't I gotta look it up, but I know there was other place I want to say Asia maybe. I don't know where exactly. But they found old like stones and stuff that had like radiation to them from like thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago that no one could explain. I gotta figure out what that one was because I heard about that a couple times, but I never could remember the name. But tying back to our Egypt shit,
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. So your Pangea, aliens, whatever, whatever. There's evidence. There's little clues here, there, and there.
hmm
There's stories about it. There's, I mean, in
but
just
if it's all
thinking
like half truths, like maybe it was Pangea, maybe it was a little bit of this, maybe the aliens were so advanced in technology that they actually was able to travel through space. Maybe they are.
well,
Well,
everyone had flying
yeah.
machines back then, apparently too.
Well, and the whole mythology about dragons and that one emperor that got on a dragon would fly halfway across the world in a few minutes, with fire coming out the back end of the dragon.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like
And the Mayan shit,
yeah.
when he's in the little spaceship-looking thing.
Yeah. So.
But my whole thing is, they all had to come from the same group at one point in the past for every isolated civilization around the same time period to have the same knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, they couldn't just spontaneously all think of the same idea randomly at different ends of the world.
Yeah, I don't think that there's that such thing as chance to that extent,
Because everyone was thriving around the same periods of time that we were been taught that it was the same periods of time. We can't confirm deny that. But the fact being is they match. They match them, they match them, they match them. And the fact that all their structures are on the same ley lines to each other, so you go longitude, latitude, you connect. Every ancient site connects to another ancient site.
Yeah.
And it's all aligned to the stars, too.
Yeah.
So you can't just tell me these nobody motherfuckers with rocks and spoons and slave labor did all this shit.
Yeah.
There's no way.
No, and to be like so precise as far as building the pyramid,
The premier pyramids.
the premier pyramids, having the angles so perfectly, having it mapped.
Well, it's really an eight. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not 3-sided. It's 8-sided.
Yeah, I mean, just having everything be so precise and built in a manner that honestly hasn't been replicated
Ever. Except by the other people back then.
Yeah, I mean, recently it hasn't been replicated.
I can't do that shit. Stop fronting. Nobody's gonna make that shit.
So,
closest thing.
mhm.
Ed Leedskins or whatever, the dude that single-handedly made Coral Castle by himself.
Yeah. Oh, in Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did that by himself, worked at night alone, and said that he knew how the Egyptians built pyramids.
Yeah.
And he was able to construct those blocks, those 2, 3,
Those
4
huge
ton blocks of coral.
And he would like
And
move them.
yep. With ease.
Yeah.
And carry them on his own. But no, and then he had just a weird device. But after he died, like things went missing again. So
yeah. Just like the government went into
Tesla's hotel room.
Hotel room.
You heard
Stole
about
everything.
Tesla's earthquake thing that he did?
No.
He had some kind of device where it would replicate an earthquake.
Yeah.
And he set it off in New York, in his hotel, and then just the building itself would shake. Nothing else was experiencing except the building. Yeah, that's something you should look into too.
I definitely will. There's so many different like Tesla stories, and sometimes you have to like wait out what's the real ones, what's the fake ones, and go forward from there.
But there was a lot of like supposed like one-on-one interviews that he did with like papers and stuff. Like those stories got published at the time, but down history they all kind of like disappeared.
But going back to Egypt again, what about the Sphinx?
Sphinx, older than it gets credit for. I read that the Sphinx originally, like the face wasn't a pharaoh face on it. It was
Mhm.
Anubis at first, the dog,
Yeah.
and that's what it like allegedly originally was. But then over the time, when the Egyptians found or discovered it, because it was still on the sand by the time they found it,
Yeah.
and they remodeled everything, like they remodeled everything else,
Yeah.
and yeah, because it was whoever, I don't know the pharaoh's name at the time, but he was the one that had the shit remodeled to be
Yeah.
in like his likelihood.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've read that as well because there was hieroglyphs of the Sphinx, and it had the whole Anubis face,
Yeah.
and it looked quite different than before.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the interesting things that had always stood out to me in regards to the Sphinx was the fact that the structure that the Sphinx is built on is aged even older than the actual Sphinx.
Yeah.
So
Like the whole that little pit kind of area
Yeah.
that it's on.
that's under them. So, they have the Sphinx, which they say is very old, and then they have the base that's even older than that, and we're only supposed to be here for how long? The math isn't adding up as
Yeah.
far as what they want us to know as far as.
Well, they want to say that it's 3,000 to 4,000 years old, but it's supposedly actually dated at least 10 to 12,000 years old. But then 12,000 years ago, that 12 to 10,000 years ago was supposedly the Great Flood that everybody knew about too.
Yeah.
That never happened.
and it's well, we can go to the Great Flood and like the Epic of Gilgamesh and how the story of the Epic of Gilgamesh and the Great Flood is so parallel that it's
Every
basically
culture has the same story.
Yeah. Which leads credence to maybe there was a flood.
There definitely was a flood.
But, did someone go around gathering two of everything?
No.
Nah.
Survival of the fittest at that point.
Yeah, I pretty much think that as well.
Yeah.
But,
but I'm saying that because every major culture has the same flood story.
Yeah.
It didn't matter where they were. From Asia to South America to North America to Africa, everybody had the story.
The same story, yeah.
So the Mediterranean, Europe, everybody had that shit.
Yeah, and it leads credence to believe that it actually did happen.
I definitely believe it happened, but there was no magical boat carrying two of every animal.
No, but what if it was aliens?
I'm not sold on the aliens, man. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying they don't exist, but I'm not.
I can't go into the whole Egypt thing without being like, getting my hair all crazy and be like, aliens.
I was saying, like, all right, granted, like, I feel aliens exist.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like they played such a big part in certain things.
Oh yeah, and we just get the link in chat of pictures, and you've probably seen these before too.
The helicopters and boats and shit looking stuff. Yeah.
So and you know what? I'll put these on the stream real quick as well. But these are the things where it's very convincing that they may have had again ancient technology, and you see there's pictures of it looks like a helicopter, looks like the speeder from Star Wars, maybe like a little blimp or something like that. That looks like the speeder from Star Wars. I don't know, it's pretty interesting.
These are not the hieroglyphs you're looking for.
Yeah, these are not the hieroglyphs you're looking for. But no, that's a very good find. Oh, I guess it does look kind of like a submarine.
Yeah.
Then the glider. I called that one. The Zeppelin.
Yeah.
But a lot of the things, and here's the ancient gold flyer that was found, that my boy from Ancient Aliens.
Yeah. But even in South America too, like that one down there, that little flyer shit. You see that last one? Like South America had a bunch of the Mayans had a bunch of fucking little gold works that resembled like ships. And I saw it on a show. They built a scale model of that one that was on that picture. Scroll real quick. And it actually flew. Yeah.
It's time delayed. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, don't even get me started on these pictures of fucking, like, the Middle Ages and drawing. You know how many fucking UFOs are in the backgrounds?
Yeah.
Of all.
But I thought you said you don't fuck with the aliens.
I said I believe that there are aliens, but I don't believe they had a major hand in doing shit.
Okay.
I believe there was more in contact back then because people back then were more in tune to the world, so
Yeah.
to say. And now I think we're so far behind. They're like, man, they're just gonna kill themselves anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But no, that is a very good find there. I'm almost ashamed to say your name, Naughty Pirate 42.
Who's been a naughty pirate?
Who's been?
Could have been Naughty Pirate 69. That would have been a lot worse. But
yeah, but can't win them all. I'll switch back over here. So, but
all right, Egyptians to the Grand Canyon.
Egyptian trip to the what?
To the Grand Canyon. How they found that cave with all the shit inside?
Oh, okay. Remind me.
Okay, so I think it was was it like 30s or 40s or earlier than that? I'm not sure.
Let me pull it up.
But there was a group of hikers that were going through the Grand Canyon, and they supposedly stumbled across a cave full of Egyptian tombs, like mummies, statues, gold, all this kind of shit. That was Egyptian shit, which would have predated any other discovery of America, saying that Egyptians were the first ones to America. You never? I thought you knew. Didn't you know about that one? Like, I know you mentioned it before.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is quite interesting, and I'm just like pulling it up as
and it was published in a paper back then, and then all evidence of that shit disappeared, and supposedly the actual site was covered up, like they filled it out with like cement.
Yeah, there's actually a Gizmodo talking about a parallel North American civilization. So, yeah, it's weird because people are always like, oh, the Vikings were like the first people to discover North America and stuff like that. But no, it was
I would say they would be second.
Yeah, I would say they're probably second or third. I definitely think that the Egyptians were over here first.
Yeah.
Because there's so many stories of people coming over here to the New America and looking a certain way, talking a certain way, and trading. And what's interesting is there's actually depictions of corn, which is not native to the Egyptian era, within some of the ancient hieroglyphs. So,
but then same part though was they found tobacco, cocaine, and marijuana in Egypt, which none of that is indigenous to that land either.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
maybe the cocaine, but like a little more across the way.
Yeah.
what was Iran, Iraq back then? What was that, like Mesopotamia?
That was Mesopotamia.
That was Mesopotamia?
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't too far off. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Needed that nose candy. It was pretty close by. But tobacco is not. Definitely not.
Indigenous to over there. Exactly. And one of the first ones that I saw was the corn and stuff like that. That's not native as well. So, there's definitely. I definitely think there's a lot more to our history that we haven't been told, and unfortunately, and this is a topic I'd love for us to hit one day, is the Library of Alexandria.
Oh yeah.
And all of that knowledge that was
gone.
That got burnt.
Or vaulted.
Or what?
Vaulted away.
Vaulted away?
Because who did the burning?
Oh, the Vatican, yeah. So, allegedly. But they blamed it on the Muslims. It's not like the first time that...
Scapegoat. Oh, we're back to the goats.
Scapegoat.
We're back to the goats.
We're back to the goats. All right. What's another...
all right, so another point of Egypt that can go hand in hand with your aliens, just to tickle your alien button. But I can't think of the fucking pharaoh's name. But he was one of the only pharaohs that wanted to be depicted exactly how he looks instead of how they all get done up a little better to look. And his anatomy was completely different than anybody else. And when they looked up
Akhenaten.
Yes.
Akhenaten, yes. Mm.
And
He looks pretty alien to me.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, if anything, alien, like his anatomy did not match up with anybody else that they found buried around that time. His skull was super elongated,
Elongated, yeah.
and his he just did not look like, and it was thicker. His bones were thicker, and I know Plato, or not Plato, maybe his grandfather. I don't know his name. You know the original Atlantis guy story.
Yeah.
But he said that he had made a trip to Egypt, and he asked why something about like a battle technique where he learned that the Egyptians believed if they shaved their heads at a young age and got more sunlight to their scalp, it would make their bones in their head thicker, so they can withstand hits better than when they were battling the Persians, and they would say their heads would crack open so easy.
That's crazy. But no, I'm gonna put up some the pictures of Akhenaten real quick. And if you guys haven't seen him, and you are in for a pleasant surprise.
Akhenaten. Yeah, I was never gonna remember that guy's name.
Oh yeah, no, I don't.
But you knew who I was talking about.
Yeah.
Though.
But yeah, that's Akhenaten right there, and there's a little bit of a time delays.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does look pretty. He has that elongated head. Just doesn't look like a like the normal pharaoh. Has the eyes look different from other pharaohs. His face is super long.
Yeah.
And they have like different pictures of it.
I do some lines with Akhenaten.
And let me see if I can. I'm gonna remove this real quick.
What you got? What you looking up?
Now, this is something I stumbled upon earlier, and I think
I'm waiting for it.
this is from a podcast, right?
Yeah.
FreemanTV.com. Go check them out. Those guys are legit. Who does that look like? One on the left is Akhenaten.
And the one on the right is?
That's another Egyptian princess or something.
I have no idea.
Obama?
Hell no.
They don't look like it?
Bugging. What?
No?
Where do you see Obama?
Like right. You don't see it?
Oh, you talk about Akhenaten.
Akhenaten.
Oh, I thought you meant the dude to the right.
No, that's a chick.
I thought you meant the chick to the right.
Oh my God, we're gonna. Sorry, Michael Obama. I mean Michelle Obama.
I was looking at the wrong picture. I was like, I thought you meant the dude with the fro.
No, but
the long face and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
It's just like it. So
right.
some people are thinking that some crazy theories out there that Obama could be Akhenaten's clone. So. But anyways, there's a.
You had me fucked up. I'm looking at the wrong picture.
Yeah.
You had me looking at the wrong picture at first. I'm like, hell no.
But check out Freeman TV. He does look just like Obama. Like seriously, and that was a really good podcast that I'd watched before. So you definitely have to check that out.
You threw me off with that shit. I'm really looking real close to that shit too. I'm like, hell no, where do you see it?
But yeah, so Akhenaten, he's super interesting. And what's very interesting is about as soon as he died, like they tried everything to like scrub him out. And he's one of the pharaohs that went away from the multi-deity.
He wanted one.
Down to believing in one God. So.
Yeah. So he knew. That's why his head was so big. He knew a little better.
There's a lot of echo. With the audio, there's a lot of echo. We'll probably have to fix that out.
Am I too loud?
I don't know. But anyways, But yeah, we're gonna definitely have to fix that out. I'm gonna have to, just buy them stupid mics. Anyways, uh,
Random thoughts in my head.
anyways.
Oh no, okay, that's what I got back. All right, we're back. All right.
Yeah.
So that's why I was
Just
saying.
making sure everything's muted. Keep going.
I was saying that that's why his head was so much bigger because he knew the truth.
Obama?
No. Akabana.
Or
Akhenaten.
Lily's like, turn down New York.
Oh God. They're paws.
They're paws. They're paws. I'm walking here.
No, but that's what I'm saying though. Think about it though. He won the. They don't know about that. They don't know about the dinosaur chicken nuggets.
What do you know about it? Oh, I can't even say it. There
They don't know about the dinosaur chicken nuggets. Did it show up? Or is this? Oh,
Yeah.
there it is.
It's a little bit of a delay. But sorry, it's completely random. All right. Going back to Akhenaten, Obama.
No,
No.
they look alike. Oh,
Yeah.
no. If you want to do that, Keanu Reeves is a time traveler.
Hey, he could be.
Wasn't there some shit like he was because he never ate?
He's
No,
like
was it him
immortal.
or somebody
Yeah,
else?
Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's pictures of him like looking the same forever. But oh yeah. Hey Lily, you didn't tell us you went live. We saw you were live and we're like, that's not fair. Just hiding from us.
Womp, womp, womp. Anyway, all right. So here's some. All right. So look, real quick. All right, back to Egypt.
Yeah.
The original idea of what we was doing
Mhm.
before we were distracted by dinosaurs and Obama.
Yeah.
So, you know the Last Supper
Mhm.
painting,
Yeah.
but in the backdrop of the Last Supper, it's got those 3 doors. You want to pull that up?
Yeah, I'm pull it up. I feel like I'm on Joe Rogan and I'm that dude that pull it up.
Hey, pull that shit up.
What's it called?
Last Supper.
Last Supper. Yeah.
Yeah, pull that up real quick. All right.
The 3 doors in the back.
You see the 3 doors in the back, right?
Yeah.
So apparently, like those 3 doors match, like the 3 door, like the archway to the pyramids, and
Mhm.
then the Mayan ziggurats too. Like those same outline of those 3 doors show up, and there you go, 3 different spots again. It's all about the numbers.
Yeah, that is very interesting. And ever since, the whole Dan Brown
Because
thing.
you should Google that shit too. Because they have there's a picture of it with the other places all put together in one picture.
Mm-hmm.
Like it'll show all the different scenes together.
What are the 3 scenes?
The Egypt, Mayan, and Last Supper doors. Just put that shit in. It should pop up.
I spelled mine wrong. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. What did you do?
Please don't be any bad thing.
What happened?
I'm live streaming me clicking on random links.
Oh.
It's not gonna end well. Open image new tab. There you go.
Why is it not working?
So those are the 3 pictures that were.
Yeah, connected to the Last Supper doors in the background, which I always found that interesting because everything was at such different times. But like, look how I know it could be a reach, but that shit like really matches up too.
It looks very identical.
Yeah.
And they said the Chinese pyramids are hidden underneath forests. And
Yeah.
don't allow anyone near them.
Mm-hmm.
So
They
the
keep them
government
shits.
guards them and tries to hide them.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So.
Yeah, they won't even let you go near that. And same with the one in Turkey. They're just only starting to be allowed to like excavate that one.
Yeah. It's
Because they thought it was the side. They thought it was a hill, but it was actually just like the forest, like the forest and shit growing over it. So it became a hill.
Yeah.
But underneath, they're finding that there's actually a structure under that.
Yeah, and China definitely like has that whole thing locked down as far as like if they don't want you to know something, you're not gonna know.
Yeah.
It, so.
Oh, China.
Oh, China.
Come on, man. Just fucking share some of the secrets.
I know, right? Um,
Anything else you're touching on this?
well, I mean,
I have a couple more if you don't.
yeah, kind of going back to the Sphinx a little bit because
Sphinx.
that's one of the things.
All right,
that
go for the Sphinx.
Is you've heard about the hidden tunnels and like
that connects everything
yeah,
yeah,
and apparently that there's a hidden chamber.
that HOR.
Yep. What's HOR?
All the records.
Hall of Records. So the Hall of Records is something that I would love to see. You know, since Alexandria or the Library of Alexandria was destroyed. You know, the last hope of any old knowledge would be in that left wall.
There's supposedly like another Hall of Records on the Yucatan too.
I did not know that.
Ha!
Uh-huh.
Ha!
Touche.
Yeah, there's one there, one in Egypt, and I forgot where this alleged third location was.
Yeah.
But there was multiple ones just in case one got fucked up. Basically, it was like a failsafe.
Yeah.
But you know, speaking of Chinese people, I guess the Egyptians have something in common because they won't let nobody dig under there.
Oh yeah. Well, and the thing is, I think if people did too much investigation into the Sphinx and the pyramids and stuff like that, they're gonna quickly find out that it wasn't the Egyptians that built that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, and that's what they don't want. They don't want people to think that they didn't build it. You know, they want them to.
Fuck all that. Like, let's just get the real story behind everything. Let's see how it works and all of that.
And let the cards
but with all the ground penetrating radar and everything that's showing all the caverns and everything underneath.
Yeah.
Like, we know there's chambers underneath. Let's go check them out.
Yeah. No, I 110% agree with you. It's something that needs to get done.
There's a hole in the ass of the Sphinx. I think I could fit in it.
All right. I think we're going to go to Egypt next year. We're going to start a GoFundMe page to jump into the ass of the Sphinx.
Go fund my ass dive of the Sphinx.
So I can't even speak. Oh Lord. Next episode, exploring the ass of the Sphinx.
Exploring the sphincter of the Sphinx.
The sphincter of the Sphinx. Oh Lord. But yeah, it's
oh man,
it's something that we're gonna have to do, I guess.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the next thing, how do you like come back after that? Like the sphincter of the Sphinx.
Hopefully they didn't fill that hole. No, because real shit though, there was apparently an opening on the head of the Sphinx too.
Yeah.
That they filled that one out too.
Yeah.
And I know there was a place in the back, but I don't know if they sealed that one too. Hopefully not. Cause like just judging like maybe my depth perception's off, but I'm pretty sure I could fit in that. I'm pretty sure I could slide up inside the Sphinx.
Slide all up in that Sphinx. Yeah, I mean it's definitely a mystery. I mean, it kind of looks like a cat, kind of looks like a man. You know, who knows?
It's an Anubis.
Anubis.
It's a dog. Bark.
A dog that looks like a cat.
It doesn't look like a cat. It definitely doesn't look like a cat.
So, all right. What's another?
I know. Well, back to the point of the Sphinx being older than it gets credit for is due to the erosion, which is proven to be water erosion, not wind erosion.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to an episode that we had a couple episodes ago where we were talking about Lilith and the Garden of Eden, and that some hypothesized that the Garden of Eden was actually where current Egypt is, and that when all that stuff went down and the river.
Keep talking. I just thought of something.
Yeah, the Nile River reversed its flow. It went from a lush land to the desert that we know and love today.
Right. So. Wait, no, keep going, because I solely screenshotted this shit to show you before we started, but I forgot. like I normally do. But that you brought that shit up,
Yeah.
it rung a bell, and I don't know how to get this image up there, so
Just put it in front of that thing.
y'all had a look. Yeah, but they're not gonna be able to read like the. But I just want to show you this first. Like, look at that connection. Stand by while he makes the connection.
That's very interesting. Let me see if I can get the same thing.
Yeah, see if you can find that one to pull up. But right?
Yeah.
And but the proton, electron, neutron thing, the 666. That's another thing too that kind of threw like I was like, what?
Boom.
Did you find it?
No one can out Google me.
You the Google Master? Oh, you fucking found it.
Yeah.
How the hell did you find that shit?
I am all that is Google. Alright, here you go.
Alright. But yeah, that's something. Cause isn't that
I'm gonna put this up here so everybody can see.
Ooh.
Alright, it should be up here in a second. So go ahead and
There it is.
so you see Egypt, Atum first created himself from a mound of dust. Science, Adam first. Scientists say that we are all made of stardust, which is carbon. Carbon has 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons.
666.
And religion, Adam first, made out of dust. Christians saying, from dust we came and from dust we shall return.
Boom.
Boom.
Triple boom. 666 boom.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought that I specifically screenshotted to show you this before we started.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. I never knew that.
That is crazy.
Right? The answers have been revealed.
Oh, I guess I'll have to clean it.
Okay, so that's that on that part. Now my next thing I wanted to talk about was, do you know
The
any?
Muffin Man?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay. Sorry.
My people's the gingerbread man. We don't fuck with the muffin man. But all right, what do you know about Thoth?
What about what?
Thoth.
Thoth?
Yes.
Thoth?
Thoth.
T-O-T-H?
Thoth.
T-H-O-T-H.
Maybe I spelled it wrong. I don't know.
No,
The
go
bird.
ahead.
The bird man.
The Birdman.
He got the bird head, and he was like their god of like knowledge, all knowledge, alchemy, shit like that.
Okay.
Anything?
Vaguely, yeah.
Vaguely, what do you know?
On the spot.
On the spot. On the spot, though. What you know?
Let me Google that. No, go ahead and tell me.
I don't know. I just thought he was cool. He got a bird head. He taught everybody stuff
Yeah, he's the Egyptian god
of knowledge,
of
alchemy,
writing, wisdom, and the moon.
everything.
Yeah. That looks pretty cool.
Right? Yeah. Like imagine you know scurrying through the pyramids and this dude pops up around the corner.
Yeah.
Like, damn, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
No, but he was tied in with the Emerald Tablets and like the Hermetic teachings and everything that they looked up to him with the mystery schools,
Mm-hmm.
and everything like secret knowledge was attributed to him.
So the esoteric knowledge?
Probably before it had a name.
Okay.
It was just the Egyptian mystery schools back then, which they're still a mystery to me
Mm-hmm.
because I don't do school.
I wonder what they would have what they would have talked about untrained.
If what?
I said I wonder what they would have taught and trained back then.
I don't know. But those teachings though, the Hermetic truth, it was called the Kabbalion, I think. There's a little book like all their like 7 truths all put together.
Mm.
It's an interesting thing. I've read it a couple of times. I yes, I know how to read, and I did read that a couple of times. I still have the book, and I found it very interesting. But as many times as I read it, I can't really explain it to somebody else.
Really?
Yeah. It's like something you gotta like. I think like everybody who reads it will have like a different like depiction to themselves about what they read.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think everyone will have their own experience and on of their understanding of it. So like,
You know, it's called the Seven Truths.
well, it's the Seven Hermetic Truths. Also the Kabbalion, Kyabalion, I believe.
The Kabbalah.
Kabbalion,
Kabbalah.
Kybybbal.
A.
I think 2 L's maybe. Ion. Try that.
Okay, do it one more time. K.
KY.
K-Y.
A.
A.
Let me come over there.
B. Kabbalah?
No. Let me see. I got you. Move over, move back.
I'm losing my job. Darth Vader.
The keyboard. There you go. Boom, fired. I found that shit. I found that shit really quick.
The Kabbalion, the study of hermetic
Yeah.
philosophy.
No, it's not philosophy. It's the truths. It is the truths. Everyone will find their own truths in the book.
I'll put it on screen so everybody can check it out in their free time.
The best summary of it that I can give you is trying to teach you that the universe is the mind. And if you have control over the mind, you'll have control over everything.
Okay.
But it's hard to get to that point living in a physical manifestation because a lot of people can't just comprehend that everything is really simple.
Yeah.
So I would advise checking that out. I'll lend you the book if you want to read it.
All right, definitely. We'll put it. We'll get you guys the link on YouTube for those who are listening. We'll put a link in the description below on this book and anything else that we've been talking about,
Yeah.
so that you guys can get the books that we recommend. So
It's a good read. It's a good read, guys. I approve it.
I approve. And what else did you have as far as?
All right, now this is something I want to know more about, but I don't have any like real knowledge on it. So, the Temple of Osiris that they found that was partially submerged.
Temple of Osiris.
Yeah. I don't know if that was like I heard there was a more extended story to that, but I don't know how far true that extra part was. But I know that they did find this place, and it was partially underwater.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
Because the first thing that pops up is like 4 pages of Lorecraft Tomb Raider. So.
What the fuck?
Because it has a whole temple. It's Lorecraft and the Temple of Osiris.
Son of a bitch.
So that's how they disinform you.
God damn it, Tomb Raider.
You have to wait through 10 pages of 12 pages.
Try this one. Haha. Type underwater
Uh-huh.
Egyptian temple to Osiris. Get specific with Google. Make Google your bitch. Don't let Google bitch you.
Abydos.
Okay.
Abydos became a cult center of Osiris, the god of the underworld. A series of temples were built for him near the terrace of Great God. The archaeologists have difficult tying an exact location of the temple site.
Yeah. Goddamn Google. Google's letting me down. Next episode, the implications of the double slit experiment in quantum mechanics. Is that the shit with the light? Or like comments?
Oh,
Is that the experiment with the light thing where where they send the beam of light through it?
Yeah.
But it still comes out the same at the other end because you already think it's gonna come or some shit like that they can explain.
Think so.
I know a little bit of a lot of that. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're not as dumb as we look.
I'm definitely not as dumb as I sound.
Anyways. All
So
right.
give me something else to go into that you had on your mind about any of this, because I did a lot of the things that I wanted to discuss on this one. I kind of took over.
Oh no, you're it's all good. For me, it just comes down to the why of it all. Like, why were the pyramids created?
Yeah.
Why was the Sphinx created, and why is everybody anti about finding out what is underneath, the Sphinx? What is underneath the pyramids? What are these connections, and why? It's the whole why that drives me nuts. Like, in any of these things that we talk about, is why can't we find out more information about it, and why is the information being suppressed? Is it control? Is it mind control? Is it some sort of conspiracy? You know, it's super interesting, but yeah, we'll touch on that subject. Someone is talking about the photon lights, but we'll definitely have to pull that up.
I got an idea.
What's that?
An interesting way we close this out.
Okay.
All right. So give me your personal theory of how you connect all this to be what you think is the real story behind it. You know what I'm trying to say? You know what I'm saying?
I think that
This get your alien plug. This is what I'm trying to help you.
So I honestly think that this goes way back to the story of the Anunnaki, and how a lot of these things were created in that time, whether it was a power plant that they used to help mine gold, etc. Which is very interesting because the whole story about the Anunnaki is they were farming gold, or they're making their creatures that they created, the hybrid creatures, which we turn out to be, farm gold so that they could take this gold particle and put it in their atmosphere at their home planet. And ironically,
of Nibiru.
And so what's interesting is scientists today are looking at protecting Earth by injecting gold particles into the atmosphere here. So there's a lot of correlation where, like, this is an old story that's pulled straight out of ancient times that they're trying to
mine is gold. Buzzing like a motherfucker.
Yeah, mine was there earlier. It was pulled from these ancient texts, and then now scientists are trying to do the exact same thing. So if this mythical text that isn't correct, and then people are doing it,
shit. Right? All right, anyway, let's go do this real quick though.
So there's a lot of correlations, and I think that the pyramids were some sort of free energy power source. I believe that the technology was very advanced, and I think that it was probably seeded by, either super advanced, intelligent humans, or more likely an advanced race that either died or was just used us as a bunch of slaves and then moved off as soon as they got what they needed. So, you?
Oh boy. This
one
is the one. So, I'm gonna start with my idea. It don't need to be Atlantis. It don't need to be anything named specifically. But just that there was a global civilization at one point. Pangea, Atlantis, Lemuria, whatever you want to call it. But they would be super advanced compared to what we consider advanced. Like, they just knew how shit really worked.
Yeah.
And nothing bad happened, nothing fucking catastrophe-wise. Or maybe it did. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure on what I feel here. But something that they all decided to spread out now instead of just being in one area. Now they're spreading out, making more like a world population now, and everything's coming along in different corners of the world. Same technology is coming up. Same thing. Then once they felt like the original people, right, that broke off from the main global civilization to go, plant seeds of people everywhere else to have like the whole planet thrive as one. Now, once they felt like they passed down what they needed to pass down and the people can function without them, then they all like this is gonna go on like the 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional shit. But they raise their own consciousness to go to the next level. And that's how I feel like some of these, like in South America, a lot of like really advanced civilizations just disappeared off the face of the earth, and no one knows if they died out or they moved or what happened. I think they just advanced, and the people that got left behind, without the actual teachings of the people, kind of fucked everything up down the timeline. And then people got more in controlling, greedy, and shit like that, and that's what pushed us all into how everything turned out today.
Yeah. It's kind of like that movie Idiosyncrasy, I think it is, where, the guy wakes up in the future or whatever, and he's like the smartest person there. He's the average Joe Schmo.
Oh, where they're all drinking like Gatorade?
I don't know. I keep...
where they wanted to get into the time machine, and it was really just like a fucking ride in the Walmart or whatever they had.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's a show that's been recommended to me, and I still haven't watched it yet. So, or a movie, I'm sorry, but Esoteric in it. So
Idiocracy.
Yeah. So
I know that movie.
But yeah, no, I mean it does make sense, because if you think about it, if right now all the geniuses left, right?
Yeah.
And us special people were left here on Earth.
So yeah,
we would definitely be going downhill.
We're in the terms of like 15 to 25,000 years of bad telephone.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the line down, people got wise. Hey, this is easy. Let's just tell people what to believe at this point.
Yeah.
And then that cut the line, and now we're in a second timeline that's may not be even fucking true, but that's what's been pushed.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at.
I think we have some similarities, a little bit different outcome, but you know what? It could be a mixture of both. But
maybe the original people were aliens in the first place.
Exactly. So this about wraps it up for today. What we're gonna do is we're gonna live stream on Sunday as well, about the same time. I think we updated the events for Sunday, and we're gonna be talking about the good old Vatican
mysteries
and Pope. Yeah, so if you guys have
disclosure, I've been touched by a Catholic priest, and I'll get into the story next week.
Spoiler alert.
But it's not what you think, so you got to come back and find out what the fuck I'm talking about.
It's almost like how we are gonna, or what you're gonna do to the Sphinx. So, but yeah, guys. Definitely tune in on Sunday, and we're going to be trying to get more people to come in and do guest spots, talk about stuff that they're passionate about as well. We want to keep it more free flowing, not like a top 10 list, and definitely want to involve the people that are on Twitch as well. So just like today, we had a lot of good inputs from our naughty pirate. So. But anyways,
come back Sunday for my Catholic priest story.
But I think we'll do the outro.
I don't remember the outro, so I'm gonna wing this shit every time. I need a soundboard with train sounds to make this shit work.
Oh yeah,
we gotta find one of those.
Well, episode maybe 115, we'll finally have decent mics and.
So we're pulling into the station. I think that's how I did it last time. Basically, good night. We're here. I'm parking the train for the night. Get off the Esoteric Express. I got shit to do now.
All right, guys. Bye.